What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Chicago Bears Central. Today, y'all got me. I'm giving y'all my mock draft for the Chicago Bears in the first 3 rounds. Look, I already know some of y'all gonna have some smoke, but it's okay. It's my mock draft, and it's my mock draft for a reason. But hey, we're gonna jump right into it right after this.
Now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, y'all. If y'all like what y'all listening to, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, this is me, Bobby. This is my mock draft for the Chicago Bears, their first 3 rounds of picks. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we set up for 1 first, 2 seconds, and a third. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. For the 9th pick, the Chicago Bears select offensive tackle Darnell Wright from Tennessee. I know it's a lot of y'all that's going to be like, no, it should be Paris Johnson Jr. It should be Skoronski. It should be this guy. But the way that I'm looking at it, and the reason I believe that this guy has, for one, Ryan Poles, he doesn't do the obvious. Last year, we thought he was going wide receiver. He went 2 defensive backs. But this right here, I'm looking at the Chicago Bears top 30 visits. Darnell Wright was in the top 30 visits. Last year, we seen Ryan Poles make selections from people that he watched at the Senior Bowl. Darnell Wright is one of those offensive tackles that was at the Senior Bowl. Another thing, Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson Jr., those guys were legit left tackles last year. They can play right tackles, but they were left tackles. I'm of the mindset that Ryan Poles wants to allow Braxton Jones to continue to grow in that left tackle position. So why not go look at a legit right tackle who has played left tackle in the past, but for the last 2 seasons with Tennessee has played the right tackle positions. And that move, you don't have to get used to Braxton Jones moving out towards the right and, you know what I'm saying, kind of mixing it up a bit. I believe with the number 9 pick, the Chicago Bears select Darnell Wright from Tennessee, right tackle. You know what I'm saying? That solidifies the offensive line. Now you got your right tackle. You line him up with a veteran guard in Nate Davis. You move Cody Whitehair to the center spot. You got a veteran right there. You line him up to a young guy in Tevin Jenkins, and then right on the left tackle is your guy Braxton Jones. Now we move on to the 2nd round. With the 53rd pick, y'all can call me biased all y'all want. I don't care. The Chicago Bears select defensive tackle Mazi Smith from the University of Michigan. The reason I'm going this is because, again, I'm biased. I'm a Michigan fan. I know that Mazi Smith's stock has been rising, so there is a chance he will not last this long. But I hope that he can last this long just so I can have a Michigan Wolverine on my team. And then it'll kind of be a little friendly battle going on in practice between this young rookie and then, JF1. With him, it'll be fun in my personal opinion. But when we talk about his game, I believe this is a big guy. This is a big guy who really went in during his time in Michigan, was overweight, went in, worked hard, and things like that. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, why didn't you select Jalen Carter? Me personally, I don't believe Jalen Carter will be available at number 9 for the Chicago Bears. So in that case, you lock up your offensive line with the number 9 pick. And then in your first pick in your 2nd round, you start to help, continue to mold that defensive line. Yes, you got some rotational pieces up in there, but I believe you need to get some young talent in there to move forward in the future. So with the 52nd pick in the 2nd round, the Chicago Bears select defensive tackle Mazi Smith out of Michigan. Then the Chicago Bears at the end of the 2nd round, they have another pick. This pick is number 61. The Chicago Bears select defensive end Isaiah Foskey from the University of Notre Dame. The reason I'm going here is because the Chicago Bears, they have a lot of veterans and a lot of the guys that have not, they solid players, but it's not that true foundational piece. Can Isaiah Foskey be that? Absolutely, but he can also flop. That's why it's the draft. It's taking chances on players. But I like this guy because he comes with size. He comes with the length in the arms. He comes with speed, and he can hold his own on the edge. And this is another guy who the Chicago Bears had done the research, which I do not believe that he was on their top 30 visits, but they did, have some talks with him previously. Now we move on to the third round. With the 64th pick, the Chicago Bears select wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, 6'2" wide receiver out of Ole Miss. The reason I believe they're going with that now is because in the first round, you solidified your offensive line. In the second round, you went out the defensive line to add there and fortify that defensive front. So you build through the trenches first. Now it's about taking the best available, that's in the draft from here on out, in my personal opinion. And I also believe that Ryan Poles is a very strategic guy. Hear me out. The reason we go with Jonathan Mingo in the third round is to plan for the future. Chase Claypool is coming up on an extension. He came in the middle of the season, did not perform particularly well. Now we're going to give him an off season, get some time to work in, and if it pans out, he get paid. If it doesn't pan out, you let him walk away. You get another wide receiver, 6'2", can pretty much do just about anything. There is tape to where he is able, to have breakaway speed from those defensive back. And then when he's running those fades, and those go routes, he's able to stack and get on top of that defensive back. So that this would be going with one of the best available, and also making sure that you keep good talent around Justin Fields. And just in case Claypool does not work out, Claypool can go out and perform well. But you still want to back it up just in case he's commanding too much money that you're not comfortable with giving him. So then you get this young guy in here and Jonathan Mingo. And just because I'm Bobby, I want to give an honorable mention to one of the Chicago, from one of the wide receivers that's from Chicago, played at Michigan State. So we don't really rock with the school. But Jaden Reed could be on the Bears list around this time as well. Some people might say it's a bit too early, a bit too soon. That's fine too. But this is another player that was in the Bears top 30. And then Ryan Poles was he's one of those executives that's saying he loves to find local talent to play for the Chicago Bears. Why? Because in his mind, they'll take a hometown discount and they will do everything they can to prove that they deserve to play for the team that most of these guys grew up rooting for. Why do you think Jack Sanborn came out and performed well? This can be a similar situation if the Chicago Bulls snag up Jaden Reed, who is also in a top 30 visits. So there you have it. Number 1 in the first round, the 9th pick, Darnell Wright, right tackle, Tennessee. Second round, 53rd pick, Mozzie Smith from Michigan. 61st pick in the second round, Isaiah Foskey. Fourth and final pick, in at least not final pick, but in the third round, 64th pick, Jonathan Mingo, with the potential of that pick being Jaden Reed out of Michigan State. So go ahead, let me know how y'all feeling about all that in the chat. I gave my explanation. If you don't agree with it, let me know who you would have selected in place of who I put out there, or who would you want to see. Please don't come up here talking about Jackson Smith and Jingba. It ain't happening. Please don't come up here talking about B. John Robinson. That's stupid. It's not happening. Let's be real about this. Let's all have a conversation. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck up in the chat. Y'all already know. If y'all want to hit everybody up collectively, go ahead and hit us up at shybearscentral@gmail.com. If y'all already know. Send them voicemails in. We're going to catch y'all on the next one, though.